What's up, guys? My name is JC from Exron Music, and we're here catching up today with rising house duo Tom and Collins. Thank you guys so much for being here today.
No, thanks for having us. Super excited.
So tell us a little about yourself. How did you two meet, and how did two DJs named Juan and Jorge decide on Tom and Collins as their group name?
That's a good question. Well, about the name, we actually, it's like when we started DJing, we used to ask on our rider for gin and tonic or gin and sparkling water soda, which is Tom Collins. So like it kind of made sense to name the project that way. It was like we didn't think about it a lot, but it used to like I think it really worked because no one forgets about it. So yeah, we just added the and now we are Tom and Collins, but our actual names are Juan, Pablo, and Jorge, which a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, and about how we met in high school. We were in different schools, but our friends sort of like were the same group overall. And one day I partnered up in a club here in Mexico City, and I invited him to DJ, and he told me, "Hey, let's do it back to back," just like obviously as a hobby and to have fun. And went really well. We DJed for like 6 hours and kept on doing that every Saturday night. And it turned eventually into a project, like we both quit our day jobs and decided to make a career out of it. So here we are 10 years later.
That's crazy. So you guys must be like best friends now.
You can say that, yeah.
More than that. I feel like we're married right now.
Also, a little funny that two Mexican DJs have gin on their rider and not tequila.
I know, but I think we were already like 23 and had already drunk enough tequila for our lifetime.
Actually, I just found out that the tequila version of Tom and Collins is Juan Collins.
Oh, really? Juan Collins.
So
that
would have made sense.
Missed
Especially
opportunity.
that I'm Juan.
So what do you want people to feel when they hear your music? What makes you stand apart in the growing house scene that is today?
Throughout our whole career, I think we've changed and been influenced by different sounds and different artists. But now I think we've reached a point where we feel really proud about our Latin background. And so we've been trying for like the past couple of years to incorporate that sound on our music, and I think it can definitely like you can see it through the music. We've always been inspired by the reaction of the crowd. So we started off as DJs before we got into production. So we always want to have and attract something that's fun, something that you can dance to, something that you can have a good time to. And I think the Latin element helps a lot on that note, because it has flavor, it has groove, and it has definitely something fresh to it, especially right now that I think all the Latin sound, it's kind of like exploding everywhere, which is helping a lot to our music and our sound. So yeah,
definitely that fun element is what we remind ourselves that is what we want to create. Like we want people to have a good time and have like a little emotional part during our set, and then like straight up fun, just dance and forget about all of like their regular lives, I guess. And we really don't try to make it too dark. Like sometimes that can happen in electronic music. So yeah, I guess like that joyful element and that also emotional element is what we're looking for in a reaction while performing or creating music. So yeah.
That's awesome. A lot of your music is very like light and upbeat and fun. I would say, all of your tracks aren't really like dark or basement vibes. It's more of a party. I think it's cool that you like to or like find your strive in creating more Latin sounding things, like where you come from. So, how does it feel to be representing Mexico at events that bring people in from all over the world? And what are your thoughts on the diversity of the current dance music space? And how do you think that we can make the industry more inclusive? That's a lot to
Okay. So one by one. About being part of part of the wave of producers that from Latin America that are well touring like around the world, and right now like we just announced a tour that's called Glitch Tour, which is basically in more than half of it is in the US. We feel really proud about it. We feel really happy that our music is like being heard all over the world and not just in Mexico. Uh, we've been working really hard towards releasing with US labels lately, and I think it's like it's growing and it's happening now for us in the US. And also every city that we go play there, we see a lot of Latins come and support, and even Mexicans like wearing flags and like just being really proud of the culture. And I think that's like more than we can ask for. We're super happy to have that support from people and just being able to connect to crowds that are maybe living in a city that we've never been to, and then having someone recognize us and know our music and just like buy a ticket to see us in a club or a festival. It's just like the best feeling ever, and that's the reason why we do this. So that's part of what we're happy in that sense. And I don't remember the other questions.
I remember. I mean, yeah, I guess we're happy in a way to see the scene change relatively fast as opposed to other industries. I mean, I remember like easily like 10 years ago when the scene was basically dominated by European male artists. You know, that was all you saw in a lineup at any festival around the world. You know, and now to see a lot more women and a lot more people from like different backgrounds, races, ethnicities. Like now you can see like all of it, you know, and I think it also comes since most of these artists, you know, like have that background like reflect in their music, you can see more people listening to dance music than before. So I mean, it's not only more inclusive to like for artists, but also for listeners. So we're very happy to see a very diverse, you know, lineups. And I think, you know, like you can always chip in being aware of this, you know, like I don't know, you can always get a booking slot to an artist that you want to support and try to, you know, like be aware of this and not completely ignore it. And it can only help. So yeah, I guess you do what you can.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys are 2 years into your label for terms and conditions. How is that going so far, and what can we expect from the label in the future?
Um, we're very excited about where the label's out right now and where it's going. I think we've had a lot of growth, like faster than we expected. We started this label during COVID, and we started receiving a lot of good music, a lot of good tracks, and we like initially were thinking about releasing a track a month, maybe two a month, but we started receiving so much good music that now we're doing one release a week, and we actually opened a sister label that's called Hidden Gems, and we're also doing one release a week on that label. That's targeted more to supporting up and coming like new art production artists, and maybe it's just like their first track. Like we're only focusing on the music for it to be like a good track, not on the whole background, to be able to actually help these producers and give them a platform to grow. So that's Hidden Gems, what's about. And then Terms and Conditions is now releasing like bigger background DJs and producers, in if that makes sense. But we're very excited also because it's now kind of like a 360 thing where we are also doing parties.
And merch soon.
And merch soon. So yeah, it's been growing a lot. We actually just did a party in Mexico City, but we've done terms and conditions parties in Acapulco, in Tulum. We're also throwing a new one in Tulum, and we're very excited to bring it to the US pretty soon. So I think it's more than a label. It's creating a community and a scene in Latin America and in this part of the world, and kind of like helping diverse this house and tech house sound, not only not only centered in Europe or in the US. So it's kind of our way to grow the scene in Latin America.
So are you only, does your label support mainly artists from Latin America, or is it really open to anything?
Not exclusively.
Not exclusively, it's more of a sound, because you have like a lot of US based and European producers making this Latin influenced music. So it's not only for Latin American producers, but it does have to have that sort of techie Latin element somewhere in there for us to like, really like grab it, or if not, you know, like maybe another label is better for that fit. But yeah, I mean, the sound in general is so big that you have a lot of European and US based producers that, I mean, either, like don't even know Spanish, or maybe never, like, yeah, not, you know, like related to the sound at all, like making this music now because it's just blowing up. So we're happy about that, and to be like part of that scene these days.
Yeah, it's awesome. So as you mentioned, you guys have been traveling, busy on your glitch tour. Tell me about what your favorite tour stop has been so far.
That's a good question. Maybe like because it's really fresh right now from the glitch tour, EDC Orlando was an amazing experience. It's the first time we play EDC Orlando, and since we released with Insomniac, we've been growing that relationship with them, and I think this was a great opportunity to present our project and our music and well, in Florida, which is like has like a lot of Latin influence as well. So yeah, that was definitely one of the best ones.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I don't know why I thought that it wouldn't be as big as other EDCs, but it was crazy big, you know, like a great experience. It was, you know, like a few days before there was a hurricane there, so it was up for grabs like 48 hours before, but fortunately the rain stopped. We were able to make it. We had a great set. I met some great people, and yeah, had a really good time.
It's awesome. You guys also played at Tomorrowland this year, right?
Yeah, this summer, yeah.
Was that your first time?
It's not. It was our fourth time in playing Tomorrowland. Yeah, okay, so we also played Tomorrowland Winter, and then we played Tomorrowland, like the big one in Belgium in the summer as well. But what was special about this time is that we were the first Mexican act to perform in the main stage of Tomorrowland. So that was a huge honor for us, and well, for like Latin and Mexicans in general. So we actually saw a lot of support. The stage was like filled with flags. It's like people were there for like a football match or something. It was amazing experience, and it definitely one of the highlights of our career for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So a couple more questions. One is, what has been your personal favorite house track of 2022? It could be your own, or it could be somebody else's. What's a track you find yourself consistently rinsing?
It could be somebody else's. Okay, that opens a lot of.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's hard to compare because I'm really excited about our next. Okay, can you see us? Like something popped up. Yeah, we're really excited about our next release. It's called Tambores. It will be out in December 9th, I think. We played it at Tomorrowland. We've been playing it in every gig that we have and always get a great reaction. So I just can't wait to release that one. Might be a little biased to say because it's ours. I'm super excited about that one. It's like, it's a collaboration with Colombian producers, and it's great.
Yeah, and I mean, not necessarily house, but electronic in general. Like an artist, and a bunch of tracks that are all great. We're both loving what Fred again is doing, especially doing something new with like the relationship with the listeners and all that. So we're huge fans, and I mean, I guess it's what he's doing is a game changer. So we're loving all the music that he's putting out.
Love that. So as you guys wrap up the year, what is the thing that you are most proud of this year?
Mm. Well, I guess to be able to support new artists, I guess, is something really big for us. We lived, I guess, the frustration that is sending your track to a label and maybe it never even gets heard or heard and never answered, and like, so we've gone through that, and we just we're very excited to create a platform where we can listen to someone's first track, like give feedback. Maybe we not necessarily sign it, but we give feedback, and we know that we can help that artist improve just by being there and giving feedback. Not necessarily that track, but like it's a big motivator to like get feedback from another artist,
Right.
and because it could be like a little bit soul crushing to send your song to like 10 different labels and never get an answer. It's not really motivating for your next track. So I
Mhm.
guess the platform that we've created and the community that we've created through our parties, being like there's no specific like target or like type of people that goes to our terms and conditions parties. It's great to see like people of all ages and all backgrounds there. So I guess the terms and conditions, I mean, I don't want to call it a movement, but like the community and the label is something I'm really proud of this year, especially.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a different
better.
satisfaction. It's like a different satisfaction being able to give back to others, kind of where you were before.
Exactly.
And our last question is, what does your goals look like for next year? And are there any other exciting projects or things that we can expect aside from what you've already shared?
Well, I mean, one thing that we definitely have in mind and already started planning out is to move the terms and conditions parties around the world, like even if it's just 2 or 3 parties out of Mexico, it's
Mhm.
gonna be great. It's gonna be a great experience, like working in partnership with other people from other parts of the world. That's definitely a goal that we have in mind.
And we're also working in a lot of new music, and well, maybe cannot mention like the collaborations like we're working with, but we're really excited about the music that's coming for next year.
Yeah, also we've confirmed, can't announce yet, but because the lineup
Yeah.
isn't out, but we've confirmed, like 2 or 3 festivals in the US that we absolutely love.
Yeah,
So
pretty big.
yeah, pretty big, and so we're happy to be back there, and
Yeah, so I guess just like we kind of tell you a lot, but in our social media we'll be posting it as soon as we can.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely stay tuned.
that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys are only going up from here. I'm a big fan, so I really hope to see you guys in the US next year.
Thank you.
I want to thank you guys so much for your time, and I wish you guys the best of luck on the rest of your glitch tour.
Thank you
thank you so much.
Thanks for
So,
Thanks for your time. Bye.
for all news updates and releases in dance music, be sure to check out Exron Music.